All right, we're back with another dose of crypto airdrop alpha. I've got a bunch of stuff for you today. Some of these things are time sensitive, and I've also got some free testnet activities, as well as some things that you can do if you have more money to farm airdrops. Now, I'm wearing the black tank top today, so you know I mean business. Let's hop right in and talk about EigenLayer. The caps officially closed yesterday, so you can no longer use EigenLayer to deposit liquid staking tokens. However, this is a reminder that you can still use liquid restaking protocols like EtherFi because they have no cap. And if you deposit ETH with EtherFi, you earn points for their airdrop as well as the EigenLayer airdrop. And you can actually now do this on the Arbitrum layer 2 with Pendle, so you can save some money on transaction fees that way. I've said this a number of times, but I do think that EtherFi is one of the most capital efficient ways to farm the EigenLayer airdrop as well as the EtherFi airdrop. And this is probably going to be one of the biggest airdrop metas of 2024. Of course, this only really applies if you have a decent amount of capital. If you have just, $100 or so, I recommend focusing on some of the other things that I talk about here. But if you have maybe an ETH or two, then you can definitely still make it with EtherFi. All right, next we have yet another update on the upcoming STRK token airdrop, because the Voyager STRKnet Explorer page just told us to bookmark this. This is going to be the STRKnet airdrop dashboard, and it says coming soon. So between this and then all of the announcements last week of different wallets and apps talking about how to use the STRKnet token in DeFi and how to pay for transaction fees or gas with the STRK token, we must be really on the cusp, and I'm wondering if it's not actually going to be this week, next week. Speaking of Ethereum layer 2s, let's talk about ZK Sync, because there's actually a couple of really interesting updates. This one right here is the Paymaster feature that you can use to pay transaction fees on ZK Sync using tokens other than ETH. So you can pay with any ERC20 token by using applications like Mute, Zeroland, and HoldStation. Now, this isn't actually brand new, but I don't think that many people are doing this yet. And so if you can make one or two transactions using a DEX like Mute and then pay for those transaction fees without ETH by using one of your ERC20 tokens, then that could be some sort of a criteria for the airdrop, some sort of multiplier. So for example, on the Mute DEX, if you want to make swaps, up here you notice this new little icon, and if you click on that, you can use the Paymaster feature to select to pay your transaction costs with a different token. And actually, it looks like if you use the Mute token itself, you get a 50% discount on those transaction costs. But I could also pay for this swap using USDC. So let's give it a try here. And now I can see that the gas token is USDC. So I'll wrap 0.01 ETH and then confirm the transaction in my wallet here. And it looked like the fee cost for that was 11 cents. So yeah, I just made a couple of swaps. The amount of USDC I have is going down, and actually now I can change it since I swapped into some Mute tokens. And let's say I'm swapping from ETH to USDC. Now, if I'm using the Mute token to pay for my gas, I'm getting a 50% rebate on the gas fees. So let's check it out and see what this ends up looking like. Okay, so that transaction still costs about 30 cents. Anyways, it's a cool feature, and I definitely recommend using it at least a couple of times. It'll probably help you for the ZK Sync airdrop. Speaking of ZK Sync airdrop, we've got a really interesting announcement now from SyncSwap, because this new 404 wrapper token thing has been all of the rage this past week. And the TLDR of the ERC 404s is that you can basically split your NFTs up into tokenized versions. And so you can now use this on SyncSwap for the Libertas Omnibus NFT using the ticker symbol Libertas. And so this is that ZK Sync NFT that a lot of people have speculated will in some way be related to the airdrop campaign. And now you can actually tokenize this and then trade fractionalized versions of it using the ERC 404 wrapper. So SyncSwap has launched this feature. It's pretty cool. And if you want to access it, you're just going to go to the SyncSwap application, click on the events button, and click 404 wrapper. So definitely a cool feature, and check it out if you want to experiment with it. Okay, next up we have a confirmed airdrop for Pyth stakers, which is cool. As far as I know, this is only the second actually officially confirmed airdrop aside from Zeroland. Although if anybody knows of any others, please drop it down in the comments and let me know. But Nabla Finance confirmed that 1 million Amber points are going to be dropped to Pyth stakers. However, if you want to participate in this, you need to be a Pyth staker, but also you need to participate in Nabla's incentivized testnet alpha on the Ethereum Sepolia network. And there's a list of tasks that you can complete down here, including doing a few things on Galaxy. So if you are staking a minimum of 250 Pyth tokens and you complete these steps before February 19th, you're going to be getting a share of this airdrop. And this is a pretty nice number here. It makes it a little bit more accessible. Some people were wondering if you would need 1,000 Pyth staked. So here to see that they've made the cutoff at 250 Pyth, is pretty reasonable. Speaking of testnets, another update that we have is that the .taiko domains, or the TAIKO name service, has actually now launched on their new Cadla testnet, and you can today go and register a name. Now, it looks like I have been rugged again, first with my .mode domain name, and now with the .taiko domain name. So to whoever is out there registering my domains, do you see what I'm wearing? I'm coming for you. Anyways, definitely just go and register at least one domain name. It's another type of testnet transaction that you can do to set your wallet apart from some of the others that might not do this. So I'm going to register. I am coming for whoever is stealing my domain name .taiko. Looks like that one's still available. And in order to do this, you're going to need to have some testnet tokens on the TAIKO Cadla testnet. I have a complete separate tutorial on my channel showing how you can get to that step. So if you've never done any of this before, go watch that video, and then afterwards you'll be able to come back and register one of these .taiko domain names. Okay, one more testnet or free to earn airdrop that you can participate right now in is the Nibiru chain testnet. You can farm Nibi points. Now, personally, I'm not going to be doing this. I don't have the time for this, and I'm sick of these social tasks. But if you have zero capital and you have some free time, then I definitely recommend going and trying to do these, because there's a lot of social tasks that you have to do. And if you do those things, then you can farm some Nibi points and you can potentially start your airdrop snowball off this way. And if you're starting from literally zero, these are the type of opportunities that you can't afford to pass up. You might as well hit as many of these as you can. And then once you get a few, you'll be able to graduate to some of the more expensive airdrops. And the final thing that I wanted to mention today is that the first launch on the Particle Network Launchpad has now concluded. And so if you staked Ally or bridged BTC to the Merlin network to try to participate in this, or referred people, you can now lock your allocation. However, it's a little bit more complicated than I thought it would be, because in order to actually lock your allocation and to get part of this pre-sale, you are going to need to bridge to the Merlin testnet. You're going to need to bridge Bitcoin. So this bridge right here, Meson.fi, is a way that you can bridge from ETH L2s to get Bitcoin on the Merlin L2, and then you need to use that to actually purchase your pre-sale allocation. And so personally with this wallet, I've been allocated 379 tokens for this. And honestly, I'm not sure if it's worth it to buy or not, to bridge Bitcoin to the Merlin L2 and to actually lock in my allocation. So if anybody has any actual good takes on this or useful things to say, please drop them down below in the comments, because I'm kind of torn as to whether or not this is actually worth it. I feel like there's a decent chance that these are actually going to be worth a lot more than whatever you have to pay to get these tokens on the launchpad. But it is a little bit annoying that in order to actually lock it in, you have to bridge to the Merlin layer 2 to get Bitcoin on that L2, and then you can lock in your allocation. So let me know what you think down below. If you are getting an allocation to this, are you actually going to purchase the tokens? Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates, because I have a feeling that next week is going to be a really big week for airdrops.